exclusively here on StreamBlast, we're talking finally about anime. I think we're going to finally widen ourselves out beyond the standard set. Wait, before you click off, please let us introduce ourselves. My name is Brian. I am from @Democracy. I'm here on StreamBlast, joined with my co-host to my left on screen.
K9 Biscuit! K9 Biscuit!
Yes, indeed.
Have we talked about anime before? We talked about Blackberry, we talked about Air.
Yes, two very valuable anime. I think they're the most highly regarded anime, in fact. No one's topped it. Yeah,
Was that an episode of Cartoon Chat?
We do an episode of Cartoon... Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Should we label the fucking Air Blackberry review to Cartoon Chat?
I think we'll do a meme. I mean, the meme's been... It's not meme, but it's been overdone. Corey in the House for Cartoon Chat.
Oh, yeah.
Some stupid joke like that from, 2004.
It's a Corey in the House and whatever fucking sitcom that's, live-action sitcom that's anime.
Yes.
Oh, and Shrek. Shrek is anime.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Family Guy. Don't forget about Family Guy. Yeah, but guys, as you know, StreamBlast is, just if you don't know, actually, StreamBlast is our conversation in the world of anything from TV or streaming. So if you're talking about, like, if you're sitting on your toilet, if you're sitting on the lawnmower, if you're on a commute and you just want to sort of listen to us talk about something in the world
if you're on the, an edge of, a large building.
Yes. And you're considering, by the way.
Oh no, I was gonna say we on a large. I didn't say they had the idea of suicide.
They were
just sitting there.
Right.
But they're doing it they're doing a dangerous stunt.
Right.
By just relaxing on the edge of a building.
100%. Then check us out. Keep listening to us. You're in the right place.
Look behind you because somebody could probably push you.
Yes, indeed. But maybe they want to be. But we don't know. All we know is
you're bringing it around. You thought I was talking about suicide.
I'm not. Guys. Understand? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're trying to listen to something as you are falling down several stories, why not listen to StreamBlast? Anyway, the point being, StreamBlast is
dude, instead of your funeral song, just have them play an episode of StreamBlast.
Oh my God.
They request what song they requested for their funeral? They didn't request a song. They requested an episode of a podcast called StreamBlast.
StreamBlast podcast number 247.
Oh yeah, so this fucking anime it's while they're mourning for their loss, this anime is some good sex, fuck. Look at the thighs.
Oh my God. The family's crying. Everything's all emotional. Yeah. Yeah, man. If you didn't know, StreamBlast is one of 5 or 6. We keep growing. It keeps growing. 5 podcasts on ScreenBlast. It's hard to, me and Mark, we know about how confusing that is to say. So again, in the world of animation, we have Cartoon Chat. We talk, chill, have conversations about sort of classic animation from whether it's a few years back, whether it's decades ago. We just we sit down and discuss animation. Then we have ScreenBlast, which is anything theatrical, anything that hits the big screen. We go out, we check it out, and we take a look at it. We then have a cow, and Mark and Brian have a cow, or whoever is hosting on that at the time, where we just talk about memes. They have a fun time. It's awesome.
It's all on our business cards. If we ever see you in person, we'll hand you one.
Yes.
Yeah, read it before you throw it away. We know you're gonna throw it away, but just at least give it 30 seconds of your time.
Just a little bit of your time.
Look at it. Just copy the links on your phone, please. Take a picture of it. All right. At least just take a picture of it. You have that forever.
You could yes, that's it. It doesn't have to be a good picture, just a blurry one, just something where you acknowledge that we exist. And then we have Blasting Turbo Reports, which is our video game conversation. We have, at this point, by the time this is up, we will have done just discussions about the Nintendo Direct that dropped and the PlayStation State of Play that dropped sort of back to back from each other. So, this is it's a packed lineup. We hope you enjoy this, and we're going to jump right in.
Crowded lineup.
Oh, yeah, crowded lineup. And by the way, guys, every single week we have content for you. We have probably more than 2 shows per week. So, Mark's over there doing little doodles, updating things, fixing things, trying to...
I want to monitor that mic all the time,
just making sure that we don't lose any footage.
There was one time we just recorded with no sound.
That was sad.
And we got like halfway.
We had
in.
such a good conversation on that.
It was halfway in, and I was like, "Wait a second, something's not right." Fuck.
Like it's like you could mouth read us, but there's nothing else there really.
We could have dubbed it.
Let's get into talking about dubs. Let's get into Zom100, Bucket List of the Dead. So, I want to get into the series details, so you're going to hear me just talk about a couple things. I want to give a shout out, obviously, to the creators, the team, things like that, so you'll hear me talk about this as we go on, and then we will go into a further discussion. This is the first 4 episodes. It's sort of a, sinking our teeth into it, first impressions. So, yeah, man, Zom100, this series is adapted from a manga. And by the way, the manga, if you actually were to translate it accurately, I like this title better. It's Zom100, 100 things I want to do before I become a zombie. Though Bucket List kind of simplifies it, you know what I mean, Mark? Like,
yes.
I just like more the 100 things I want to do before I become a zombie, but we've seen so many anime with names that are like ridiculously long. Madness, you know?
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Do you know the reason?
Why?
Oh, do you know the reason?
Say it.
Oh, well, because the reason is it's like if for like Japanese things, if you have the description of like your story, it'll get interest like immediately because you're in competition with like especially your book. Your book is in competition with like a fucking billion other books.
Yes.
So you have to have a long description. You need to have a long description of your premise to get like some people like slightly interested in it. So you can have like a good catchy title like Zom.
Like you don't meet a girlfriend in the dungeon or something.
Yeah.
Right? What was that? What was that? Don't meet a girl. I don't remember what the thing was. It was such a good name.
Yeah, you can have like a catchy short title like Zom the anime or Zom Bucket List.
Yes.
That's a short snappy title. And if it gets famous, it has a good short snappy title with it. But it's gonna be lost in a sea of other stuff where it's like my half sister got lost. My big half naked sister got lost in a dungeon while I got reincarnated into a slime. There you go. That will get more attention than your short title. So you gotta have like a big another descriptive title to like counter that one.
You've got to sell it, and that's the way I do. Again, that's how I think it works. And this manga, by the way, the manga before was written by Haru Aso and illustrated by Kotaro Takada. So Haru, his past works were actually he wrote and illustrated Alice in Borderland and an older series, manga called Hide and Closer. Alice in Borderland, obviously very successful. Really kicked.
Oh, no, I was watching. That was a show on Netflix. I remember.
Yeah.
That's a good show. So I haven't finished it, but it's good so far.
Yeah, and then Kotaro Takada, he wrote and illustrated probably one of the coolest names you'll ever hear. One of the coolest names you're gonna ever hear. Hallelujah Overdrive.
Yes. You talk about it. I would love if I got converted and and I become religious. If I start my own church, it's gonna be called Mark's Hallelujah Overdrive, the church.
Giant neon sign.
Yeah, giant neon sign. It's like my name is going to be diagonal and small.
Yeah.
But in big font, it's going to be Hallelujah Overdrive, and then like in small font right under it, like the church.
The church.
Dude, that it's going to non-religious people's going to come in. It's going to convert people.
Because they're going to be like, "What the f is this?" And then they're going to see how awesome it is in there, and it's like, "What?
Church is awesome!"
Right. Yes, indeed. And they'll never leave. In fact, they'll stay, and you'll become a cult.
Yes.
So,
and I tricked them all into liking Sonic instead of God.
So, so in terms of its expansion, it got picked up by Viz Media for the manga to get an English release, an English rollout in July 2020, so right in the heart of COVID, of course.
Yeah.
And the manga, obviously, is still ongoing, if you didn't already know. Now, the anime adaptation was actually announced in January. This was after it got a film from Netflix, I believe. So it's already had that streaky success rolling through.
It's getting 2 adaptations, like a live action film and an anime. Jesus Christ, already.
And that anime adaptation was announced in January and it debuted in July. It's produced by Bug Films, which Bug Films is weird because if you look at their filmography, they've had a brief involvement in a few things, but nothing really major. So they've had, like, for instance, they've had time where they've worked within just secondary involvement in Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, Pokemon Horizons, Undead Murder Force. Those, like, so it's like this is their kind of first big, like, hey, this is our own thing. And you can tell because at the end of the intro, you get literally their logo, boom, like, big title. You know, that's them. Like, they are proud about this. And it's cool to see, you know, like, just get more exposure, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is directed, by the way, by Kazui Kagoi.
Banjo and Kazooie.
And he, by the way, this is, he directed Comey Can't Communicate, which is another kind of...
What?
Comey Can't Communicate. That was
Comey Can't... I watched some of that, yeah, that's...
Yeah, so he has, like, that under his belt. And, by the way, the screenwriter, Hishiro
That's a fun slice of life anime.
Yeah, and the screenwriter, Hiroshi Seko, this guy's a legend. I'm just gonna lay out, like, what he's screenwritten in the past, right? He's been the screenwriter for the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan, for Terror in Resonance, one of my favorites, Seraph of the End, Mob Psycho, Finland Saga, Chainsaw Man. Like, that's a lot. That's a collection.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm talking about,
good shit.
Like, you know, good, that's a, you know, so that if you're looking for someone to have, in terms of, like, okay, where do we want to sort of, how do we want to set this up and, you know, translate the page from page to, you know, motion, he's a good guy to have, clearly. Talking about music composition, Makoto Miyazaki, formerly worked on One Punch Man, and I think still working on One Punch Man and Spy Family, by the way. But yeah, so this music composer also just big hitters on this anime. It's great. I will mention in terms of right before we get into just our deeper thoughts on story, things like that. Main character Kira, voiced by Suichiro Umeda. And when you look at the Japanese the Japanese voice actor, he voiced Chadley in Final Fantasy VII in Japanese, of course, and several other anime spots throughout the years. But I will say, for the English voice actor, this guy has had a legendary career. He was born in 1993, but he's been in dozens of anime. He's had dozens of credits in anime and games and movies. Just so many that I literally didn't list them. Just he's all over the place. Like in terms of, like, things from this year, from last year, from years past. Like, he is all over the place. And
name a few, like, from this year.
I don't have him on me at the moment, but again, like, he is a hot commodity in the realm of voice acting. You know, but again, Zeno Robinson, you can check him out, and yeah, man, good start so far for him. And again, last but not least, this is available on Hulu, Crunchyroll, and Netflix right now. Apparently on all three, and that's in the States. I don't know if that's true about Netflix. I don't know if all three of them would allow that, but apparently it's on all three, and yeah. So
I have, like, folks that, well, I usually don't have much to say for these, like, sections, but, like, I have less to say for these sections because, like, I'm a casual anime watcher. I can't say I don't, like, I don't, like, catch up with the most modern animes. I go to, like, an anime club to catch up on, like, these animes, but, like, I don't, they're not usually on my hype radar. When it comes to, like, content on my hype radar, that's usually saved for, like, really good American cartoons or just, like, other Western stuff in general. I mean, I still like anime, but, like, it doesn't stick to my radar usually.
It's not a regular.
Like, when you like tell me about the voice actors or directors to, like, Western stuff, it's like, oh yeah, I know that guy. I definitely know that guy's work. When it comes to anime stuff, they're like, that can be a lot of things.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. It's one of those things where, again, even for me, like, I'm not as deep in as I was in anime. And that's, if you've noticed, by the way, if you have looked and browsed at our channel, we don't do a lot in the realm of anime yet. but I do want to step into it at least.
We're going to do this one.
What we're gonna do is we will definitely re-up after it gets to like probably 10 episodes. We'll look at this again, look at how far it's come, and then we'll do it again in the future and sort of get a further impression. And we'll talk about our updates and perspectives.
We'll actually start with this one because like this podcast of doing Zom100 is his idea. So like what got you to start?
So the first thing was like I was looking for. Funny enough, I just casually was browsing for. I was casually browsing for summer anime. Like I was like, all right, what are some summer anime that are big?
That's
it. I just casually was like, what are some summer anime that are big? What's something that's like highly rated right now? I just want to jump in, find something
that's highly sexual.
What's hopefully not too sexual, not too ecchi, as the kids say. And this came up, and funny enough, once I brought that up. I brought it up to you, and you're like, "Yeah, I've been watching it." And then, like, I brought it to Martin, and he was like, "Yeah, I've been watching." I'm like, "Oh my god! All right, well, this kind of just falls right in then, perfect."
Because it was I keep like I don't keep up with the anime, but like I do keep up with my streaming services, and this was like offered. It was like in a coming soon section, so it was like I was watching it when it was like it looked interesting when in the coming soon section, so I was like looking forward to when it was released, and like I was like, is there a dub in the works? Because if there's a dub, I'll just wait for that instead. And I looked it up, and it's like, yeah, dub's already in the works. Because this came out in July.
Yes.
Because I found out about the week it was going to come out, or the month it was going to come out. And I was like, yeah, the dub is coming out next month. And I was like, I'll wait for the dub. Because like I know with the dub, I'm going to be behind. But it's like, I rather listen to dub. So folks, I know I'm also a casual, a filthy casual when it comes to anime. It's like I prefer dub over sub, but modern dubs, like at least like past like 2010 or something like that, and not for streaming and not for like broadcast television. Because most of the time dubs are just solid now, especially nowadays, and I rather look at because like this is animation. I want to look at the frames and stuff instead of looking at the bottom of the screen the whole time.
Yes.
And like, you know, it can be inconvenient because sometimes I'm eating and I want to look down at my food and the characters are still talking and I miss the words on the screen, or sometimes like it's busy translating other things on the screen too, and the characters are talking, so you're missing something. And you know, the Japanese language has some shortcuts that like that the American language doesn't. So sometimes there's a bunch of subtitles on the screen and the character is just talking still, but it goes by and it's like, I didn't finish reading that! Put it back on screen!
There's a point
and I have to rewind it!
Yeah, there's a point where you can sacrifice convenience for trying to be a weeb, and too much of a weeb. So if you're so still into the subtitle category and you think that being a dub watcher is like vehemently evil, like, come on, you gotta get over it.
Yeah,
it's time.
I don't mind sub. I'll watch sub, especially if there's no other option.
Same.
But like,
I
have to. When it comes to anime clubs, they always prioritize subs, so I watch subs anyway. I have watched more anime in subs than dubs. I remember more anime in dubs than subs. So like. Oh fuck! Lost my train of thought again. But yeah, I rather listen.
At present, you'd rather.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to subs, I know like the reason people don't like dubs is because like the original voices sound better coming out of the characters. Which it sometimes is the case, but like if the dub just gets the dialogue and story out of the way, I don't really mind that either. Especially if I start with the dub, I haven't heard the original voice anyway. And so there's for people who read the manga, they probably like, hey, this dub doesn't have a fitting voice for this character.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things I do want to mention before we get any further, just talking about my anime lineup history. I did mention that I'm like more recently not interested, but I will say I had a span from about 2020, I'd say about 2013, all the way up to about 2017, where I almost all the time it was like deep into anime alongside anything else I was watching, and I racked up probably definitely over 100 anime at that point. Just loving that time, and then again, like more recently, like I went through and I just wanted to check out things that I kind of just, usually I go into sort of classic things that I missed. Like I went back, I watched Evangelion, and then I watched the, what is that, Thrice Upon a, like that whole run of movies basically that retold the story to see the difference. I thought that was beautiful. But some loose changes, but it was interesting. I value anime, but one of the issues that anime has, for me at least, is that there were too many anime that were running into the same tropes. I was kind of finding anime that were running into the same tropes and kind of pushed me away. I also was just getting burnt out from anime itself. I think that just happens, and then you just kind of find yourself going back to that place again when the time is right, and the time is right now. So, I think we should.
Too. Recently, I just watched all of One Piece in one night.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, you must have had it on like 7 times. Like Yeah.
I was hoping you wouldn't think about that. I saw a post. I saw a post of like, I think someone. This was before the Netflix thing. Came out. It was like it was a rude post of a post, and like some girl tweeted like, One Piece is so good, I watched all of it in one night, and like the comments were like, wait a minute.
I'm guessing I had a bunch of thumbs up too at first, and it's like, wait a goddamn second. Yeah. All right. So let's get into let's get into it. So I think Zom100. We talk about when I talk to people about like anime with great openings. I always go into like, I think My Hero Academia always stands out to me as like one of the best, if not the best for me. Probably not the best, but one of the best sort of first episode debuts ever. And I think that this doesn't come close, but I love the premise and I love the method of the approach. I love the approach of this series. I think, just episode 1, you really just want to get, I don't want to go and spend episode by episode, of course, but I do want to briefly talk about episode 1 because I love everything about how they approach it. And
I think the first episode of My Hero is great. There's probably better for me, but yeah. Yeah.
But what we get is like so in episode 1, like you cut immediately, you see he's drained from his job, and then like that, like she's drained from his job. It's very late at night. He's literally like not recognizing what's even going on around him. You see that the whole room's just disgusting, and then we get a cut back to this optimistic version of himself. He's excited to work at this dream job, and he's ready to go, and and everything's cool, and there's this hot girl at work that he thinks is instantly gorgeous. I'm ready. Go self. And I think we've all been there. You go to a new place and you instantly see the hot girl, or it's the hot girl that just appears to
It's the work life in general, especially when you that's how I am at my job right now. I'm like, it's a big place, a big company. You're happy to be in work in this big company with a big community, and then after a while, after the honeymoon phase, you're just like, well, this is my job. Clock in. Can't wait to clock out. I'm out. I just want to be home. Yeah. Overtime? Yes. I need the money. Fuck.
Absolutely. But I love how it's ramped up, and I know obviously in Japan the working conditions there are much worse in terms of how hard they have you work, but it's when you compare, it's ramped up to 11. So it's all right, everything seems like it's cool. They go to the bar, the team seems cool, and then it just immediately just slams down. All right, back to work, and it's oh Jesus. And most wait a minute, what?
And most places, especially in the white collar jobs, what it's called, in white collar jobs in America, for some places it was already there, or it's getting there now, where the economy is kind of screwed and people need money.
Yeah, but I think I love the approach though, where it's it puts this mystique under the job itself, because you see that people are disinterested in the very beginning. When he walks in, very disinterested. People are very ugh, and it's obviously people are not happy about this job, and obviously that in the future he's not going to be happy about this job either. But yes, but I love the fact that when you're talking about most people think about the traditional job as a 9 to 5. All right, boom, done. Or a 9 hours, whatever, 8 hour shift, done, boom. And I love the way that they mask this in the beginning. It's all right, And it plays out that way. And he's looking at this girl across from at the bar, and he feels like he's like, all right, I'm going to do good, and things are going to be great. And then immediately, just, boom, all right, this is how it really is.
It adds more to the fun mystery because, like,
yes,
everything is looking great, and you're just, like, wondering, how does it get here? But you can easily come to the conclusion, like, okay, his job just became, like, his job just became more stressful. But, like, as we keep going through the flashback, it's like, okay, there's more things to keep there's more motivation for him to keep going for this job, and there's like and things just keep getting better and better here. So it's like, so how does he get so drained out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he becomes rather quickly the slave to the rhythm, right? Because, you know, he gets back home finally after 2 days, right? He gets back home, he's resting, and then like the first time he gets back, his optimism is absolutely gone. All of it's wiped out, but he's like, but he's forcing himself. He's like, but he's forcing himself. He's like, his optimism's gone, but he builds it up because it's like, you know, it's like boom, like all right.
I think you're also skipping the drinking night with all the coworkers.
No, I brought it up. That was that big shift where it's like you go through. He's at the bar. It seems like everything's over. Like the day's over. Everything's having fun, and then boom, quick cut, and it's like, holy shit, we're still here? We're still going through this? Holy fuck, what do you mean?
Oh, no, it wasn't quick. No, so what happened was, like, they're all having drinks, they're all having fun.
Yes.
And then, like, the clock, it's like, it's not a quick cut, it's like the clock is like, well, time for work. And it's like, everyone just, like, their personalities just shift as they're getting their fucking key cards and shit back on.
That's right, it wasn't a quick cut, but yeah, just like, but it just happened. It was just like, oh, what? All right, wow.
Because it wasn't everything around him. It was like every person around him just changing their attitude quickly. Like they're putting their work face back on.
Yes.
And that's why I loved about that scene.
Yeah, and then like you get to he's been there for so long, you know, like I love, by the way, again, this just feels so real. There's the counteractive boss who wants no involvement but all involvement at the same time. Like he wants all the involvement and no involvement. Like just nothing. And it's like, all right, I don't even know if he's the CEO or if he's the middleman, where it's like I'm just this guy that has a management position and I'm gonna be an asshole, right?
I think the CEO?
Because no, the CEO is the old guy that gets his dick sucked by the hot girl.
Okay, yeah.
So, that's it.
I thought that's who you were talking about.
Which is like no, just the big brawny guy that's an absolute asshole. That middle manager. That's you know, the big tough guy.
You were just joking about it, but we did watch Blackberry, and there was a similar structure.
Yes. Yes, but like, and you know, you see that he's like so drained that he's like considering like just killing himself. Like he's like legitimately, you see that this transition happened so quickly. I love that it's happening so quickly because you just want to keep it moving into the next. And you know, like I'm going to be honest. I wrote down in my notes like I wouldn't be surprised if Otori, who was the hot girl at work, if she was literally just a mirage, because like she appears for a couple times when he's like most in need at the office, but literally once I thought that, then you see that she goes to the office with the boss and fucks, and it's like, oh shit, all right, wow, this is.
It wouldn't
it
wouldn't make sense if she was a mirage because he's not at the despair point yet. He's
not. Yeah, I know. But it was one of those things like I'm trying to get the. It's like she's too pretty for like this situation. Like what the fuck's going on here? Like, but like you know, like I've been in a workplace where like you know like the boss is fucking the fucking whatever chick or whatever that's at a certain level, and you know just it's weird. So you get back. So he gets back. He's like walking back home, and it's like you can see this zombie walk, and you're wondering like, all right, so is this the zombie walk he's talking about? Because he's like, there's this zombie walk that he starts to acquire because he's so exhausted and so tired. You know what I mean? And rather quickly, I'm just running through this first episode. After that, we're gonna move pretty briskly, but jumps to the third year. Right, jumps to the third year. Now he's at a manager level, and it's like even then he's got the higher level of he has this higher level, but he has this immense pressure and shit's like you know this American guy.
I didn't know he got management
because he has to oversee those people. Because again, he said, "All right, I told them that they have to work on this," but then the American guy that he was talking to on the phone just said, "No, cut that, change it." So it's like, and he's like, "But all our resources have been spent on this." And like clearly he's just so fucking out of it, and you know like it's incredible. and then
but I just want to go back to like the
what's up?
CEO and the girl.
Yeah,
they are like shameless. They just like fucking inside the office and like very loud too.
Yeah, it's a shithole. This job clearly, it's like the mask is gone. This impression that he got in Inception was false, and he finds that out rather quickly. But it just goes further and further and further left. And I think that feeling, the only thing that was really pushing him, funny enough, was that chick that was actually just like it's like. And again, like it felt like she was probably getting smashed by anyone at work at that job. I'm not trying to be like sexist. I'm just like it's one of those things where she's a hot girl at a place of mostly male employment. But unfortunately, it's more that it's sexual harassment than it is that she's smashing, and that's the other disgusting thing that's happening at this place of work. It's just a disgusting place where there's just all these problems. And again, there's also things where you bring up the I love the fact that it's like like our workplace is safe, and like it cuts to the guy talking, and it's like, this place isn't safe at all. I don't really like it here, and we get paid days off or whatever. It's like, no, you don't get paid days off. You don't get to use those paid days. What are you talking about? Like, I love, it's just real work. Like, it's like, that's the shit.
I'm curious. I probably need to do some research on how the Japanese system is, because I mean, in America, if you have paid days off, you can use them, and sometimes you have to take breaks.
Yes, but
and here, like also 30-minute breaks are required here.
Yeah.
By law.
Absolutely. But yeah,
which also means they take 30. They forcibly take 30 minutes off your time card.
Yeah, but even then, I've had 30-minute breaks where it's like you step out and you still feel that feeling of like just that drain where it's like 30 minutes. It's something, but it's not like,
Oh, it's not much of anything.
Yeah. It's
not even a good nap.
Absolutely.
You can't especially if if your workplace in the middle of freaking nowhere. And the place doesn't have a cafeteria or anything. You need to get lunch. You better hope you bring your own.
Yeah.
It's
a mess. So
was not even enough time to even wait for fast food, because sometimes they take long, especially during rush hour.
Exactly.
You ain't getting your meal in 30 minutes.
Exactly. This all loops back to where we started at the very beginning of what the first scene that we see, where he's sitting there and he's got the whatever cup of the cup noodles or whatever, and all of that, and he's got this sitting there, and he's just trying to he's just tired of it, and I do love the fact that we get back to the present, and then the next morning he realizes, oh, okay, something happened, but I love that there's this effect, like the frame is uneven and it jumps around a bit, like things are off. There's this cold color tone now, and suddenly obviously he sees the zombie, but I love the first zombie that he sees. But that's where we first start seeing the colors, and I love this idea. I think it's brilliant.
I love that it's not it's gruesome, but it's like a creative gruesome.
Yes.
Where it's like the blood, it looks like paint splatter. It's just like, instead of just red, it's like Splatoon. It's just different colors. So it looks more like, instead of just like zombie gore, it looks more like a paintball fight.
It looks like art. At times. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so especially and it makes the intro sequence looks really good.
Yes. Oh, especially in the intro sequence. I think that's where you really get a lot of that saturation. It's anime already is, you compare to American animation, and it's like you're going to find more color saturation in most anime than anywhere in America. But you find that beautiful color saturation, and somehow it's like even here it's pushed up to even further somehow, especially in the intro.
I like the design choice of whenever blood is not red, but it is clearly blood, but it's just a different color. In Danganronpa, the blood is not red. It's like a light. I think it's like a light pink. But it looks. I mean, murder is not fun, but it is. It does make it. It does the art of the pink blood on the dead body. It makes it look funner.
A little more adventurous.
I like looking at it.
A little more adventurous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Realizes that I just love that like you said, the blood is a variety of colors. And I love the realization, because he's running away, he's figuring it out. It all clicks in his head. Oh shit! And things are blowing up around him. And I love it's one of my favorite new scenes in recent memory, and on any animated thing, where it's all right. Instead of being scared, instead of being sad, I just love the premise. Instead of being somber, He's just happy. He's done, like, with this stuff. He's just done, and it gives him this feeling, gives him this incredible power to move and move beyond the limitations of normal life. Like, it's just this energy itself, this idea of, like, I am so free from this bullshit that, like, that he breaks the boundaries of normal human physics. I love that idea. Like, he's just over there jumping around, destroying, like, he's just fucking in it. And he's like, alright, I'm doing what I can. He goes to find the chick that was being sexually assaulted, right? And, like, that's his next thing. He's like, this gives, like, because he's like, fuck it, and it feels all very cinematic. This whole time, I wrote this in my notes as well. I was like, it feels like he's in a dream the whole time. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was like waiting for him to wake up to the point where it's like, he's gonna wake up and fuck, it's like he's back at work again. But because it's all so cinematic, he gets to her house. He's, the boss is there. Unfortunately,
because work is his personal hell. That's like the work, like where everything he was going through. Work was his lowest point.
Yes.
So anything else is way better than that, and that's what he's dealing right now. Because imagine if if your hell was like fucking cleaning the basement downstairs, and then you go to like a literal war zone, but it's like it's not the basement. So fuck, you're just running through that war zone like happy as can be because you're not cleaning the basement.
It's similar, something like that. Yeah, I think it's
a weird analogy, but I just made it up the top of my head.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. It's one of those things where it says that feeling, like, because you just don't know where it's going next when he's on the rooftop and he's like figuring it out and they're all around and the zombies are there. It's like he just like, fuck it, I am free. He's free as a goddamn bird. He's
invincible. He feels invincible.
Yes, it's such a good moment, and yeah, man. So he goes to her house, and the boss is there, and I like you kind of understand that this is like a double meaning. Like, obviously the boss is a zombie, and he knows that, but he's in his moment, and he's like, fuck it, he goes on a spiel about like I resigned, fuck this company, it was hell, and it was shit, and it was everything that you'd want to tell your boss straight to his face, and he gets to say all of that, and he lays out what he wanted to say.
He still says it politely though.
And yes, he does, and which kind of makes it suck a bit, but it's fine because that's him. That's who. He is.
I think it adds a charm.
That's what I'm saying.
I like this character.
That's who he is, and but and he kills the boss, and unfortunately
again, like he because his happiness of not being at work.
Yes.
Like you said, it was a dream. He's defying physics, and like he has the strength of 10 men. His heart grew 3 sizes that day, and he got the strength of 10 men.
Yes.
So like he just like bum rushes that boss with that boss with ease.
Yes.
It's like just like breaks through the window.
Like, just there are no boundaries to this. It is he is limitless, and
he's powered up.
Yeah, and when he talks to what's her name, it's like, all right. Like, look, she's a zombie, but he at least still gets to say his piece and be blunt about it, even though she is a zombie. And but it's one of those things where it's like this was never obviously going to work. Like, you kind of understand that. Like, he's just in a moment.
At that impossible moment, that's when I totally got the tone of the show, because the art style is very serious. The situation is very serious.
Yes.
The way it's edited is dramatic and very serious. But what's happening, like how the character is handling the situation is just very nonsensical.
It's like Hardcore Henry.
Yes. Or like a video game in general.
Yes.
But it's like you're in the perspective of the character.
But he's a perfect. This is how you play Dead Rising.
Yes. This is where you totally get the tone of the show, and Absolutely. I think that when he's facing the boss, that's like a perfect moment. Indeed. Zombie boss.
Yeah, I love that first episode. After that, of course, you get to the point where, again, like, it's just, I'm just gonna sort of, I love, again, there's the premise and ideas of episode 2 and episode 3 and episode 4, because again, we're gonna go back and make our way through all of these as time goes on. Not all of these, but yeah, like we'll make our way through this first season as time goes on. But and we'll talk about the intro later, Mark. I know you had a piece to say about the intro itself.
I think I said.
No. You said it while we weren't talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
We kind of skipped over like how he also confessed his love to his crush at work, but
no, that's what I said. She was a zombie. Did you not hear? Yeah.
Oh.
That's. I just said that.
I was thinking about what I was going to say next. That's why.
What were you going to? Sorry, my bad. What
It was going to talk about.
Go for it.
It was going to talk about that, but yeah, because it also shows you like this show can be sentimental too, like he's not completely Well, it shows you he's not completely oblivious to the fact that there's a zombie apocalypse.
Yes.
Because he doesn't care that the boss is a zombie. He's like, well, you're still the boss. That's still the boss's body. I'm still gonna tell you like it is. I quit. I resign. Thank you for letting me work. Bye.
Yes.
And but when it comes to like when his crush is a zombie, he's like, he's not treating it like she's not a zombie. He's just like, he's just very emotional that he missed his chance to save her. To save her, to tell her what's on his mind while she's still a person.
Yes.
But it's like, I'm just gonna do it anyway because like this is the only chance I can get.
Right.
Even though she's still a zombie, but like I'm just going to try to. He's trying to hold on to his personal reality, his want. At the same time, he sees the reality of like, somebody I actually loved is dead. Somebody I cared about is dead right now.
Absolutely. Like there was no helping that.
Yeah, but that was like that was also a great moment too.
It was a absolutely
great sentimental moment.
Yes, is it beautiful? Just unfortunate but beautiful, but blunt at the same time. And again, it's like that's why I think this is that was so well executed.
Yeah, because also like that whole scene right there, just in the Crush's apartment, it lets you know like he is not oblivious to the zombie apocalypse. He just has his own. He has the strength.
He's approaching it at his own angle.
Yeah, he has the strength of his own personal mindset going through this.
Yes,
and it's going to show you. And this whole show is like it's going to be like how his mindset is contrast against like others' mindset during the apocalypse.
Yeah.
There was another zombie anime like years ago where it was like this girl she had like her own reality throughout the zombie apocalypse that everything was nice and it was like a slice of life like schoolgirl anime to her reality, but in actual reality it's actually a fucking bleak apocalypse.
Yeah.
This anime came out, I forgot the name of it, but this anime came out a long time ago.
It was more dark though overall, right?
It was more dark, yes. Definitely more dark.
Yeah.
But like it's a similar way.
Right. Yeah. This is not as goofy as something like High School of the Dead, which I think still stands as one of those goddamn S tier level, just it's S tier for what it is. It's just schlocky, stupid, fun, goofy
Shaun the Dead inspired
apocalypse. Yes.
It's definitely one of the fun sexual animes one of the well written sexual animes. There's like an anime that's just like very focused on selling sex, but like
sex appeal.
Sex appeal. But like at Sacrifice they're not really well written. It's just like here's boobs and butt.
Right.
And give us money.
Yeah.
But like High School of the Dead was like well written. Especially the dub. The dub added its own things that were also very funny. It added some Western references that were also very funny.
Right.
This Zom100, it's like it has sexual things in it, but it's like realistic. It's like realistic with its stuff. It's not like zooming in on like sexual stuff.
If it is, it's doing it rather briefly, and it's doing it in a natural way.
I've seen 4 episodes so far. I couldn't do it later, but like
for instance, we have a picture here, top right, when she's leaving. Obviously, the main character, Akira, like looks at her, as she's leaving on that bike, and it's like, yeah, she's kind of cute. It's like ass shot, basically. It's like, all right.
Is she? I guess I wasn't sure if he was focused on that or just focused on the back.
It is what it is. All I know is the
like
shot
to
was
me,
her
to
hat.
my again, I turned to ask like he's just focused on her leaving on the motorcycle, and it's like she looks cool. I didn't think of that as a sexual thing. Like she looks so cool.
Sure, I'm just saying that the anime does it. It definitely still, it's not at the level of High School. I'm not saying it's High School of the Dead, but it is still at times sort of leans in that.
I can just say it doesn't.
I don't know. You don't have to sit on this, so you can move on. But I was just mentioning it briefly.
I'm just saying it doesn't stop. Just to sound like.
No. There's not a Megan Fox Transformers moment where you're just sitting there for a good 30 seconds looking at her ass and her tits for like, what are you know, like it's more like, hey, this is like, hey, you fell here and yeah. We're in a zombie apocalypse, and you're pretty. And as a natural human, you'd look at a pretty person.
Which is like the stereotype for a lot of animations. Is like they will just. I guess you could say Megan Fox moment. They would just sit on. It's like here's the sex moment.
Yes.
There you go. Now let's get into the plot. This is why I don't watch. I watch like a lot of stuff during work. I don't trust anime. I don't care what it is. I just don't trust. I don't trust it during work. I feel like somebody can come. I feel like because like you do have people that come behind you and just like. They're about to say something to you, but they look what you're looking at on your phone first,
and suddenly
and then like I don't trust it because like I feel like if I do like there's gonna be like an awkward moment I don't see coming where it's like this is the sexual part of this is sexual part, all sexual on screen right now, and then like that's when somebody walks in, what the hell are you watching?
Right.
You getting off to this? I'm like, right. No.
Yes, indeed.
It's action, I swear.
Right. All right, so. Well, what I love about episode 2 and onward is that it's just Akira living his Hakuna Matata life, and of course it gets further and further on as we've seen. But literally, like he's like, because it's funny because he goes and it's like, all right, day one, not having to go and work. All right, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna clean up. It looks beautiful. I'm gonna have a drink. I'm gonna enjoy my life, and then it's like, I gotta go on a food and drink run. God darn it, and. What again, like I love the there's like funny little moment. There's not funny little moments just throughout. There's funny moments. For instance, like there's the Kosuke family, I believe. You see the name briefly, and it's just this couple, and they're sitting.
They're in a different anime,
and they're just in a completely different anime.
They're in a different anime,
in a different tone and everything. And it's like, how do we get out of here? I don't know how we can survive. What's going on? And then he looks out, and
he goes outside. Yeah,
just casually like, yeah, I'm gonna grab some food.
You want? I'm going to the store. You want something?
And it's just like he's just like he's just in it. He is himself all the way at this point. He's like, fuck it. I've been down in the dumps and dealing with shit. I am totally me, and I don't give a fuck. And I love that 100%. So he goes and I just love the connection between 2 and 3 because what's awesome is with 2 it's like, all right, we are learning about this. He goes to this store and there's a camera on a bike and it's spying. You're like, all right, what the fuck does that have to do with it? And you see a girl that gets supplies, right? It's like he's much more casual than her. She's clearly very sharp about everything. And then there's a truck. And you think the truck is planned by her, but in fact it's not planned by... There's this whole setup where she's just... Like, in episode 3 we learn, alright, she's actually, completely not... Wait, is this...
That's not episode 3.
That's episode 2, I'm sorry. Episode 2.
We're still in episode 2, we don't... Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was the way... So the way it's cut is... I love... Because, like, it's cut and it feels like you're just like, alright, in episode... But... In the other end of the episode, you see her perspective. In her perspective, she's just this by the book. I'm gonna try and get through this, and
it's like it's a real Lion King. I like to call it like a Lion King 1.5 storytelling. Like you get her perspective later.
Fills in the gaps of what you missed in the original explanation.
Because from like when you see his story, because you don't know why she's looking at her phone. You don't know why she's pulling out her phone because you can't think of a reason why she's pulling out her phone. It's like, oh, he's really just about to get her his number.
Well, I also love that like the whole time he's stressed out about like, oh, I should talk to her. Hey, so and he's like he's trying to make small talk and all that, and she's just not even at all.
She doesn't care.
She's not even at all giving a fuck. And, like, I think that's a good message to, like, like people in general, like, hey, like, just, if you're, it doesn't matter. Like these like, some people are just not, like, relax. Don't even overstress it, But yeah, like I love the setup to this where it's like she doesn't even realize like what's going on until she sees that this truck's coming because she's aware.
Yeah, no, but the main thing about this character is he has like a mindset like everything is fine and normal, but he's also under the assumption that everyone else has his mindset too. That's also what this scene is showing too, because like she's like the girl is like in full survival mode. She's just picking out her stuff, what she needs, looking out around her surroundings, making sure she's safe, and like he's just walking the store like everything's fine, and like oh shit, a normal shopper. She's really focused on. She's probably focused on me, like wondering why I'm singing this weird song while she's buying stuff.
Beer,
like hey,
beer. I just love that she didn't even hear any of it. I do love that's funny because like when you see her final. Because what's funny is like the lead up to it is the lead up from her perspective. She gets to that store. She has a camera. She's watching out. She's paying attention, and she's not even listening to what the fuck he's like. He thinks he thinks like maybe she heard that. Like she didn't even hear that at all. Like it's very funny how that lined up. But I love the fact that like when we see her perspective, it's like she's like we said, she's sharply concentrated, but she gets her intelligence from movies. And we learn later that she doesn't even like these zombie movies. But it's like, all right, how can I learn intel to be more concentrated and better at this? Well, I gotta watch these fucking schlocky.
And they're right. They're like it seems like what's happening in this reality is accurate to their movies.
Yeah, and I do love that. Like even though she pre-plans everything. It's like, all right, what's the safest place where most likely zombies don't appear? What's the blah, like. She's considering all this, and then meanwhile Akira's just like, I'm just gonna go to this store. I don't give a fuck which store. I just need beer, and I need to grab like just have some fun, whatever. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna have a good evening, whatever. Get out of my way. And like I do love that vibe of like, yeah, you're like she says, like you're really not really looking at like high priority things, and it's not really a high priority thing to get some beer, and it's just like and that's it. But yeah, these are just two different people you're going to cross in life, like, and we don't know if they're going to meet again, probably, and we do, because that leads us to the point that you brought up before, which is outros, intros. What are we doing? Reveal, like, why do we have to? Come on, can we not reveal what's going to happen to these characters in the story? Like, can we not
reveal the characers?
Can we not reveil that? But also the fact that the characters all come together too. It's like I would like to see this for myself, but you're spoiling everything. You brought this up, Mark.
Yeah, and this is like also a show where like you'll meet some characters and they will just show up on screen to die. And like this show is just like the outro and intro just presenting the characters of the main cast that like are taking a while to show up, because like we're on four episodes and we haven't met that blonde chick yet, but like we know once we see her, like she's just going to join the cause.
Yep,
she's going to join the roster.
Yeah,
that's why I try to skip the intro to most animes, because like they spoil too much sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's such a I think the outro is like great. It references
outro and intro.
Yeah, the outro references, yes indeed. The outro references a couple different anime, but also has different visual styles. It also doesn't look like it was super expensive because there's a lot of stills involved where obviously it's still you have to make those stills and all that, but instead of it being all just super CGI, there's a lot of outros where it's like super CGI.
I couldn't look away from the intro because the song is super catchy and that color splat, that Splatoon paintball opening is just really vivid and wonderful to look at. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I just want to quickly run through. I do love the fact that, like, again, episode 3, we get a different perspective. We get the again. I'm just trying to run through this quickly. We get this wealthy bar owner that's protecting survivors. That's really nice, and we get this like very cinematic thing where it's like, all right, we're gonna protect him. We cut to the fact that he's like, we. At the same time, I shouldn't say cut to, I keep saying cut to. Simultaneously, Kensho, who's a friend of Akira, is also stuck in a situation. He's stuck in a funny situation. I think it's a hilarious situation where he's in a he's in this situation where he's stuck between the zombies in one door and a sort of a sex actor room in the other, and it's like that's the only thing that's giving him security and protection. I think that is funny. But he answers the call from Akira, who finally gets to answer calls because he was so busy at work and unable to. Well,
you already mentioned like the main character's list. Like after all this, he just makes a goal of he wants to do he was gonna make a bucket list because like life since his work is done, life has opened up to him, and now he's just making a bucket list of everything he wants to do, or at least you find out by episode 4 everything he would want to do because he doesn't finish making 100 things yet. But he just makes up a bunch of ridiculous stuff, or just makes up stuff on top of his head. And one of them is I think hang out with his best friend, or hang out with his mom or pops or people back home. And you as a viewer are like, is all this possible? Like, what the heck?
Yeah, and I didn't realize that. I didn't see it until episode 4. That's when I took the note of we learned that this list is actually the list that. No, episode 3, I think he mentioned. Where is it? Where do I fucking write this? I think I wrote it somewhere. I can't fucking find it. But I wrote that in episode 4. We learned that the list is actually made up of everyone's perspective. Clearly, it will be built by everyone, almost like a Declaration of Independence.
Yes.
Because Kensho starts writing.
We kind of learn it's incomplete. We see him build the list. We just assume he finishes it off screen.
Yes.
But no, he hasn't finished it, and and it looks like he's going to become like you said, an independence. I totally forgot to add in episode 2. He goes, well, "Fuck it, why do I can do whatever I want." He grabs the motorcycle in the top left corner of the picture, and it becomes Dead Rising.
Yes, it's so him. It's just him. This is who he is. He's in, and he just wants to be who he is, and he's able to live and maximize. And this is not, it's not about what's government stringency or what's this and that. You don't have to think about this world. You just think about the fact that it's like Sunset Overdrive. It's like you said, Dead Rising. You're just in a zombie apocalypse, you're having fun, and you're maximizing it. So he himself is maximizing. It feels like a video game now, where it's everything's up for grabs. You can just take what you want, and he's just going through the most insane action scenes and just beating up zombies. Yes. If the plot gives him the armor to. Yeah, episode 3 though, I do love that. The convenience and armor. Yes, I do love that. In the lead up, we get Kira goes through hell. So while Kira was going through hell at work, obviously Ken shows his friend from the far, far past. And it's crazy. He couldn't be better in life while Akira's going through literally the worst. I think, again, another connective tissue piece. We've all kind of been there where someone's their life is maximized, and it's damn, that's crazy. All right, whatever. You know what I mean? Yes. And it's just one of those things where you're all right, and you feel wow. Well, he's, as far as you know, the person they're for now, yeah. You feel at the moment because you learn later, but at the time, it's everything's cool for him. Everything seems like it's it's sweet. It's the sweet life or whatever. And we all had those people we know oh damn, they're good. Their life is good. They're doing this and that. Fucking asshole. You think you're better than me? Yes. Well, you are, but I'm never gonna admit that, you piece of shit. Yes. I do love, by the way, that again, this guy at the very beginning of the episode gets saved by Akira just setting up something for his own friend. I love that they just set that up in the episode. Oh yeah. Just cool. I like it. There's it's a mini subplot in that episode where this restaurant is this restaurant owner and his security is all right, we're gonna fight against they all admire him. Yes. They're all trying to protect him in this place, and and he's taking some survivors in to keep him away from the apocalypse. Right. That seems I think most of them already got killed. No, they're all dead. Yeah, he's the only one left. He was about to accept death, but he just got saved very last second. Yeah. Amen. I think when you talk about great dialogue and great natural chemistry that you show visually through the animation, the fluidity of the animation, and how they're comfortable they are with each other, I love this relationship between Kira and Kensho. Again, it's one of those things where Akira's just fuel. I wrote down he's just fueled by the will to just do anything, right? Like he jumps. He's like, fuck it, we can make this, and it's like obviously it's like no natural human's doing that, but he's beyond that natural will. He's like, I can go beyond this. This is me. I'm doing it, and he gets to the point where Kensho admits to his mistakes. He feels like he's lifted that weight off him, and he takes that leap too. It's like it's like I wrote down at the end here. It's like I don't know. There's something interesting like about the idea of just being so comfortable with your friend, like so comfortable. Like that's like way too. To me, that's too far. But being so comfortable at the end, you're sipping beers with your friend butt ass naked at the top of a roof. It's like, all right.
You don't drink beer nude with the boys. What the fuck's wrong with you, dude? What are you, gay?
But you get what I mean. It's like it's just that like wow, like that's how. But that's like.
And it's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, you're only. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're that comfortable because you really like. But even in a zombie apocalypse, you see that everyone else that's in the zombie apocalypse is not as open or comfortable. Like the next episode. I'll jump back to you once you wrap this up. But episode 4, it's like we open up. He's playing a zombie shooter or whatever, and that actually goes back to at the very end of the episode. And I like how it ties together. But I will say, like playing a zombie shooter in the middle of a zombie apocalypse is like playing Madden while on a football field playing football. It's kind of funny. He claims.
Oh, dude, we play Work Simulator before we have to go to work sometimes. I play fucking Animal Crossing.
No, that's why I gave up on Animal Crossing. I was like, during COVID, sure. I was not, like, I gave up on it because I was like, man, I have to go to work every day. There's no fucking way. There's no goddamn way.
I played Overcooked before I had to go to work, like, alright, let me make this food, let me wash these dishes. Oh, fuck, it's time for work. I gotta make this food, I gotta wash these dishes, I wanna do this shit. I go back home, yeah, Overcooked, make some food, wash some dishes, yeah, I'm beating the game.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where whatever cycle you end up going into. But, so he claims that he'll find a girlfriend on the same day, right? So you're wondering, alright, how's this gonna set up? How's this gonna set up? Let's see. So, as they're on a quest, by the way, to get a bigger TV, that's one thing that they wanted to do. They find survivors. 3 of them are attractive women. So it's like, I guess this is setting up to be a workout for them. But it's like the energy at the moment is like totally opposite from what these guys are like. Like they are tired and exhausted and just stressed about this whole being entrapped and all that. And like Akira, I do find this funny, like, because you just don't know what to say sometimes. Akira, in all of his energy, his common sense and wisdom, trying to think of something to say, asks if one of them has a boyfriend instead of just like, it's like, hey, is there any way to start small talk? It's really it's realistic, but it's like how else do you start it off wrong if you want to try and break the because that starting it off that way is like I want to smash basically. Yes. You literally could not ask a better way, like. And then, like, I also love the fact that, like, at the same time, Kensho is, like, obviously just, he's just all in. Like, he's got one of them in the palm of his hand. And he looks, he
found the horny one.
Kensho sees Akira staring and just gives him a poster smile, like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, look at me. Like, and it's just funny, like, Akira's just in a shit show, but.
He feels defeated.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Well, like, at least, like, she responded and gave him an answer. It would have been more awkward. Like, I think the more realistic thing that would happen if you act like you have a boyfriend, and she was just looking at him like, and you just like quietly exit the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
but like it's this episode where you really get what the show's about, because later in the episode, shortly after this, they Akira lightens up the mood.
Yeah.
But like he's trying to defeat the awkwardness.
He builds the vibes.
He tries to he tries to snort up a whole like bottle of Jack Daniels
or whatever.
Vodka, yeah. And everyone's just like getting with it. And like so you kinda get the point of the show is like, okay, by accident he's like trying to change everyone's
energies.
He's changing everyone's energy and like perspective.
Yes.
Perspective on the situation, because he's slowly doing it with his friend. Do you have his name?
Ooh, Kensho?
Kensho.
Kensho's also just doing it because he's like macking and he's macking with the ladies. I mean, you know, like.
But like, well, no, he is still slowly doing it with his friend Kensho, because even by the end, when they're all fucking dead, and he just witnessed them dying too. Still, by the end, he's like, I got the TV. Let's go.
Yes, because it's funny because in the beginning of the episode, like, the TV is, like, the last, after they get into the zombie-infested area, like, the TV's the last thing Kensho's thinking of. Meanwhile, Akira, that's the key thing he's thinking of, right? And so, like, when he's like, oh, there's a place of safety, meanwhile, Kensho's thinking it's a place of safety, Akira's like, maybe there's a TV in there, there's probably a TV, and like, that's not the thought, we're about to get eaten by zombies, bro. But, yeah, I just love that, yeah, the vibes are built. You know, now we learn, again, it all sucks because, again, like, just quickly, the other guy's a zombie, right? The taller, like, thin guy is a zombie, but the flight attendant, so there's, essentially everyone breaks off, right? Everything seems like it's working great, except for the taller flight attendant that was cool with Akira in the beginning to start the vibes. Because Kensho's getting sloppy-toppy up in the fucking mattress area. He's just like, it's great. Akira, and by the way...
Oh, and he's not the one going at it. He's like, alright, I think we're done here. And she's like, nah, let's keep going. Right. To the point where she's just like following him around, not even bothering putting her clothes back on. She wants to go again.
Yes, and Akira is also finding his own connection because one of them went and asked if he was okay and things are cool.
Yeah,
you know, like, because it just feels like, yeah, this is not... She's clearly not making it through the end of the episode.
Well, I was watching the episode, because when he was, like, started, like, chucking the vodka, the first one I noticed is the oldest lady.
Yeah.
Is the oldest, like, business lady. And yeah. I was hoping, I was kind of secretly hoping, like, he was...
Going with her?
Yeah, because it would have been a more interesting connect, because it would have been a more interesting, like,
conversation,
kind of the character dynamic.
Yes.
Because, like, okay, he's kind of getting with the youngest, sweetest one, but like
shy,
it would have been more funny and more interesting, and if he like got closer to the oldest smoky one.
Absolutely. Yeah, it just feels like
it was a shame she died so quickly. I kind of wanted to have more scenes with her.
That's again, like you said, you suddenly like learn what type of show this is, because it's like things just start going left. The taller flight attendant obviously gets her like. She doesn't get her pussy eaten by the zombie.
She gets eaten out.
Right.
She gets eaten out.
That's right.
That's how she dies.
That's right. So that's what happens, and then
she does.
But then Kensho and the girl that went with him, like it goes left because she's not paying attention, and now she's dead. And so the only guy that things are going well for is Akira, and it's like, how long is that going to last? It's like, ooh, this is probably not going to run too long. And
I love the suspense in the beginning, because there's that guy who just like, because like amongst the people survivors, the three beautiful
women. That's what I'm saying, the old guy,
the old guy who's just like mumbling to himself. He's not really mingling or anything.
Yeah.
And then like later you see like he lift up his cuff of his pants and he's like, oh, he's got bitten. In every zombie apocalypse story, there's always that one guy who's infected, but he's not telling everybody.
Nope.
That that one asshole.
Yep. Yes, indeed, and he fucks everything up. And
I'll be fair. If I'm with people I care about, I would tell them I'm infected. Get away from me. If I'm with strangers, I would just be like, I'm just gonna go. I don't care about these people. I'm just gonna go along for the ride until I turn into a zombie, and I'll just fucking kill.
I'm gonna be quiet about it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be quiet about it. Like, let me live my last few moments with people.
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess so. I mean.
All right, and then like when before the transformation, I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Hey, Mark,
I'm a zombie.
Hey, Mark, what are you talking about? Yeah. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. I just think that goes to hell. Like like I said, Akira's the only thing. Like that's the only one where things are going well, and it's like it's really cute. Like she is like trying to tell her like, hey, you should do this, and obviously again, where this is going, and you hear and you see, and the camera cuts to, hey, here's a zombie, and you already know what's going on, and unfortunately, shit just goes left, and it's so beautiful in the moment, but it just is the truth. It's the truth of what's going on around him, right? Like, it's just the involvement of being in hell, basically, while having this. And, yeah, it sucks because they would have, I know that, like you said, the taller one would have made for a much more funny dynamic if, hypothetically, she stayed in the show. But obviously, like, in terms of, like, what would have probably been more perfect for him, I think for the time being, well, probably not, because she probably would be more hesitant than him in his adventures.
It would have been more interesting if he got to convert her.
Yeah.
They could have still wrote it in a way where, like, that would have been more interesting. If she was the most hesitant, and, like, he still managed a way to change her mindset.
Yeah, because you do see that in the end, like, before the zombie falls down the stairs and crushes her and bites her, that she's, like, considering everything he's saying. And
it makes me wonder, I hope that's the dynamic of the blonde-haired one. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
I swear, this better not be like, oh, we're just friends. Let him smash, bro. Come on. Let him smash. Don't be a butthole. This better not be one of those anime where it's like, well, they're just friends. They're just friends forever. Like, let him, So, I don't know.
Oh, no, he's gonna smash.
I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know. There's so many anime where it's like, maybe, and then they don't.
From what I learned from, like, just media in general,
Don't spoil anything, though. Did you read something that's ahead of the curve?
Yeah, they all die at the end.
Oh, good. Okay.
And they fuck as zombies. They all have a zombie orgy. You seen a Sausage Party? Just like that. But anyway, but like, what I learned from media is when they have a scene of, like, the two characters, like, being on top of each other. Chemistry. It's like, that's telling me, no, that's foreshadowing that they're gonna have sex.
Not always. Definitely.
It's not always, but, like, most of the time.
What are you talking about? Like,
especially when it lingers on it.
What are you talking about? There's been so many anime where that happens and nothing happens. What are you talking about? It's just it's hinted and then nothing happens.
I guess I'm thinking of Western media. That happens a lot in Western media.
Less and less nowadays, because they don't even want to reference anything like potentially,
They want to keep things platonic.
Yeah. So.
But no, his goal is to have a girlfriend and, like, what we're learning from the show is oh yeah, I forgot to mention, what we're learning from the show this episode is, like, his bucket list is ridiculous, but he's accidentally fumbling into, like, the list of his bucket list. Like, one of the ridiculous things is, like, it's very oddly specific too. Is
remember my childhood dream?
He wants to wine and dine with flight attendants, and it's like, that's oddly specific, and like that's weird. That's how he's gonna make that happen. And in the middle of the episode, the girls they find, they're all flight attendants.
Yeah. And
by circumstance, they're whining and dining.
Yes. And
it's like,
I didn't even see that. All I saw was he wrote at the end, remember my childhood dream. Like and again, it's like one of those things where, like you said, Kensho lifts the move for Akira with a big TV, you know what I mean? And they get back.
Yeah.
And clearly he's still kind of scarred in the moment. Like, he's still, like, really, like, reeling from that. Because, again, that is, like, a really dark thing. But then he's like, wait a minute. This is where I am. This is life. And I'm freer than I ever been. But he writes it down, and he's like, fuck it, I'm back. And he gets back. You see the look on his face, and he's got that same energy. So,
like, yeah, man. The show is called Zom100, and the point of the show is, like, he's going to cross things off his bucket list and, like...
but I do like that they acknowledge that his energy isn't immediately, like, good. It's like, I just went through something pretty traumatic. It's pretty big. And then, like, I'm gonna go back.
That's a fun dynamic, because, like, when he gets out of that mindset because of something serious happening, because it's still a bleak
moment.
Like, it's still a bleak moment, still is a bleak situation.
Yeah.
And vice versa, he needs the people around him to get him back into the mindset.
Absolutely.
So that's a good dynamic the show has, and I like this kind of storytelling. It's like, because there's so many zombie content in general, and it's like sometimes you think you've seen it all, but like there's still people out there being creative with it.
Yeah, this is one of them. I gotta give him props, because
it's a new angle.
Like you said, I've seen so many different adaptations, and God knows we're all tired of things like The Walking Dead, so I really do appreciate this different spin.
Are we? I don't know, like, fucking Last of Us was hidden this year.
Well, I mean, like, the way that The Walking Dead was written in particular. It is weird that
I haven't watched Walking Dead.
It is weird where there's this resurgence, because I think between 2015 to 2018, it was like we were done. We were all kind of tired of it. And it kind of took a lull for a second.
Last of Us brought it back strong this year. Like, that, like... It was this year.
Yeah, no, well, that was 2023, but I'm saying, like, way back at that point, like, and I will say Last of Us 2 back in COVID definitely was the first big...
Was Last of Us this year?
Yeah, that was this year, but I'm saying Last of Us 2 was the first, like, one of the bigger ones that kind of rose above, like, oh, in video gaming it was big, and it was a top-selling game. People went and played it. It was a topic of massive conversation, like you said, led to that show. You had a couple movies come out in theaters that were zombie-based. So, yeah, like, it seems like we're back into another renaissance of zombie movies.
Was also Days Gone.
Days Gone, yeah, that was... It didn't sell well, but, yeah, the people definitely had love around it.
Oh, yeah, but also, every Call of Duty, people look forward to Call of Duty Zombies.
Well, technically, Call of Duty Zombies is only with Treyarch, I believe, so it's not...
Oh, really? I don't play the Call of Duties.
The more you know.
But they usually put a lot of effort into the Call of Duty Zombies.
They do.
Like, they do. Like, one of them has, like, 2D animated cutscenes that look really nice. Mm-hmm. And, one of them has has voice acting by Pee Wee Herman.
Interesting.
Paul Rubens.
Smart. Who we will be talking about. Unfortunately, we'll have to do that on we'll wrap it around after we'll talk about that later. You guys won't know, but this is a time vortex. You'll see that at a certain point in time. You'll see this at a certain point in time. But overall, I love this. I want to see where these characters go. I love the way that they treat the main character. Cool. I love the color. I love the color. I love the saturation. I love the. I just want to see where this leads, and obviously, this is not a series that's just going to end like quickly. This is something that's going to keep running because
I do share the same opinions.
But yeah, so yeah, man, guys, this has been, of course, another episode of the StreamBlast podcast, and of course, this is one of many on the StreamBlast podcast. So you can find
this show is also available in like 2 major places. It's available on Hulu and it's available on Netflix.
Yes,
I think it could be available on Crunchyroll.
It's definitely on Crunchyroll.
Okay, this has a huge availability.
Yes, they really that's exposure right there. They want to get this.
Yeah, because this is like a very high budget anime in terms of animation. It's like, oh, this is probably a Netflix original, and then like I was looking on the Hulu catalog. It's on Hulu too.
Yeah. And again, like you said, Crunchyroll too. It's one of those things. I mean, you look at the team behind it too. Very well known, very well recognized. So yeah, good stuff, guys. Check it out. Again, if you have other anime you want us to cover, go to screenblastpodcast@gmail.com. Send it to us there, or drop it in the comment below. We will check it out if you are on YouTube, by the way.
Yes, for all you anime, and also for all you like hardcore anime fans that prefer sub, look forward to the Japanese dub of this podcast, and Brian will be finding Japanese voice actors and adding subtitles to the episode.
Arigato. All right, guys. Log us out, Mark.
Oh yeah, logging out, everybody. Shit, I wish I have the time to like bring out Google Translate and say it in Japanese. I'll do it on the next anime podcast. I promise.
Yes.
All right, logging out, everybody. Bye.
All right.